turning cities into water-absorbing communities. Picture your city as a giant sponge. When it rains, the sponge absorbs water, keeping everything dry. But what if your sponge is covered in plastic? Suddenly, the water can't soak in and starts to pool up, causing big floods. This is similar to what happens in many modern cities around the world when heavy rains strike. Flooding in cities can be categorized into two main types: external flooding and internal flooding. External flooding occurs when major rivers overflow their banks, often after heavy rains or snowmelt. Think of hurricanes causing rivers to surge and spill into the streets. On the other hand, internal flooding happens right within the city itself, even if nearby rivers are not overflowing. This type of flooding is becoming a bigger problem as more areas become urbanized. As cities grow, natural landscapes like parks, forests, and fields are replaced with buildings, roads, and parking lots. Unlike natural areas, these urban surfaces are often paved with concrete or asphalt, which don't absorb water. Instead of soaking into the ground, rainwater flows quickly over these hard surfaces, leading to large volumes of water rushing into drainage systems all at once. Imagine trying to pour a large amount of water onto a flat, paved playground versus an area with grass and soil. The paved playground can't absorb the water, so it starts to collect and form puddles quickly, whereas the grassy area soaks up the water more gradually. Similarly, in cities, the lack of permeable surfaces means more water runs off rapidly, increasing the risk of floods. When urban areas cannot absorb rainwater effectively, several problems arise. 1. Rapid water accumulation. Water collects quickly in low-lying areas, streets, and around buildings, leading to widespread flooding. 2. Overwhelmed drainage systems. Storm drains and sewers can become overloaded, causing water to spill onto roads and properties. 3. Economic damage. Flooded areas can result in significant financial losses, damaging homes, businesses, and infrastructure. 4. Environmental issues. Floodwaters can carry debris and pollutants, creating messy and dangerous conditions after a storm. For example, during heavy rains, cities like New York, Miami, and London have experienced severe internal flooding, impacting thousands of homes and businesses each time. Certain parts of cities are more susceptible to internal flooding. Low-lying zones. Areas that are naturally lower than their surroundings tend to collect more water. These areas once absorbed rainwater, but urban development has reduced their ability to do so. Coastal lowlands. Coastal cities often face additional challenges with rising sea levels and storm surges. As cities expand into these vulnerable areas, the risk of frequent and severe flooding increases. To tackle internal flooding, cities around the world are implementing various strategies. Green infrastructure. Incorporating parks, green roofs, and gardens that can absorb and store rainwater. Cities like Singapore use extensive green spaces to manage stormwater naturally. 2. Permeable pavements, using materials that allow water to seep through, reducing runoff. Some European cities have started installing these in parking lots and walkways. 3. Rainwater harvesting, collecting and storing rainwater from roofs and other surfaces for later use. This not only helps manage floods, but also provides a sustainable water source. Flood barriers and retention basins, building structures that can hold back excess water during heavy rains. Rotterdam, Netherlands, uses innovative water squares that double as reservoirs during storms. 5. Improved drainage systems, upgrading sewers and storm drains to handle larger volumes of water more efficiently. Alongside managing water flow, constructing buildings that can withstand floods is crucial. Elevated structures, raising buildings on stilts or higher foundations to keep them above flood levels. Waterproof barriers, installing barriers around buildings to prevent water from entering. Flexible designs, creating spaces that can accommodate water without sustaining significant damage, ensuring safety and minimizing repair costs. As our cities continue to grow, managing internal flooding becomes increasingly important. By combining smart urban planning, green technologies, and resilient building designs, we can turn our plastic sponge cities back into water-absorbing communities. This not only protects lives and property, but also creates healthier and more sustainable urban environments for everyone. So next time it rains, think about how your city handles the water and what steps can be taken to keep it safe and dry for all its residents. That's all for today's Disasters Adventure. Stay informed, stay prepared, and keep wondering about our amazing planet.